and dangerous record attempts. But I think this one takes the biscuit. Kate?
You may remember Michael Howard. He's the guy who did the balloon skywalk at 18,000 feet a few weeks ago. Well, he's back, and with the aid of some helium balloons and a chair, he's after another record. What he gets instead is a heap load of trouble.
It's 4 a.m. deep in the Californian desert.
The plan is to tie 700 small helium balloons together and tie those to a chair, and I'm going to be sitting in the chair, and then we're going to try and set a Guinness World Record by riding the chair up to 18,000 feet.
Mike Howard is a 32-year-old recently married balloonist from Manchester. As Mike's team prepare for the challenge, parachutes are packed and checked in case he needs to skydive to safety.
Okay, Mike's ready to skydive if he needs to.
Mike plans to land the chair, and to be able to do this, he'll have to cut the balloons away. The team are very aware of the risks, no one more so than his wife Renee.
If something goes wrong right from the get-go, or if he's descending, there's a certain altitude that he comes to where there's no turning back, basically, and that's what really frightens me.
This challenge is extremely dangerous, as granite mountains surround the launch site, and the high winds could smash Mike into them. Travelling with him will be a safety factor. Once the balloons are assembled, they're attached to the chair.
The Guinness rule says it can be any chair with legs, so we decided to use a director's chair. We've taken out the back so there's more space in the back for my parachute, so I can sit comfortably in the chair.
After months of planning, Mike is ready to launch himself. 3, 2, 1, nothing. The decision to launch brings the realization that Mike does not have enough lift to get off the ground. They removed the chair, but it's still not enough. So the solution is to get more balloons. Volunteers scrounge balloons from local shops, weddings, and even a little girl's birthday. Mike is now ready for the second attempt. With a final push, he begins to rise. At 30 feet, he cuts the tether. Mike is now directly hooked to the balloons, which has never been done before. Mike's been given a camera to record his view of the challenge.
Whew. Let's have a look at the view, shall we? Lovely view.
Two separate chase crews follow Mike into the desert, including his wife Renee.
He drifts west, he's going to drift back over the airport, and there are people there to pick him up.
I'm heading south, Steve, and I'm climbing.
Mike desperately struggles to reach 3,000 feet. Only then will he be able to use his parachute.
Anything below it, and I would have to use my reserve, and the chance of it actually opening in time is fairly slim. What do we got? Coming up on 2.5. Still climbing. Still climbing.
At 2,500 feet, there's a problem. Mike has hit a temperature inversion, an invisible wall of cool air that he can't punch through.
Unfortunately, we're not going to get to the altitude we need. You can see on the altimeter, 2,500.
He drifts helplessly towards the mountains. His new priority is getting back in one piece. Stuck at 2,500 feet, with no hope of getting any higher, he realizes his parachute is useless.
This is not going to be a free fall because I didn't get enough altitude to do this safely, so we're going to land this, hopefully. Legs have gone numb a little. Make sure the pin's still in. Pin is still in.
Mike has to start popping the smaller balloons to lose altitude. But the helium in the bigger balloons heats up as fast as he can pop the others, making his efforts useless. Travelling along at 30 miles an hour, Mike must land soon or crash into the granite cliffs.
The tops of those mountains, the highest peak on that mountain is 4,000 feet.
We're trying to cut balloons here and descend, it's not working.
Still drifting helplessly, Mike is lucky enough to have the winds blow him to the highest peak. But another danger looms: high voltage power lines. He must land before he reaches them. He radios the chopper for help.
Mike to Jeff.
Hey, Mike.
Mike's record attempt is now a rescue operation. To land, he'll have to use the downdraft from the helicopter blades to hasten his descent.
The helicopter's getting too close.
Mike is engulfed by balloons twisting uncontrollably in the chopper's wake.
Tell her to get away.
Mike, the helicopter's causing you a lot of grief. Get him away. Get the helicopter away. Get the helicopter away.
It's all over the place. Let me to fly, will you?
Okay, looks like you're stable now.
I'm descending now.
After he successfully brings Mike towards the ground, the helicopter pulls back and the chase vehicles close in. Mike descends rapidly over the mountain ridge.
That's right, you're sliding off it. Feet together. Feet together.
Mike is tumbling down the hill, being dragged over rocks and cactus until he finally manages to cut himself away from half of the balloons.
Yeah, we're almost right underneath you. We're coming at you.
He comes to rest on the desert floor with nothing more than a bruised ego.
I saw this cliff face and I didn't want to land on the cliff because that could have been nasty, so as I was coming down I was bunny hopping over all these big boulders. Unfortunately the balloon just sat at like 2,200 feet and it would go up and then it would come down.
Mike Howard doesn't like losing.
Yeah, very disappointed. Obviously very disappointed, don't like to fail. But perhaps we'll give this another go.
Frustrated at not achieving a new Guinness record this time, Mike's lucky to be alive.
Now we're off to the States again for a game of